So I've got some elements here. I'm not sure what to start with, to be honest. I'm going to take a look at some of the drum elements. Just going to trigger some of these together. Okay, so 2 kicks together. What I'm going to suggest on this one, I'm just going to drop in EQ3. Just use that for that ambient reverb more so, keeping the kick on this beat and bass. I'm going to bring these together, just finding things that work together. The go-go's here, these are too obvious. You can really recognize them from the original. So first thing I'm going to do is just shift the transpose down. Try and get it to match the key of the bass. There's a shaker in there as well, of course. I quite like how that's feeling. It's got a really interesting vibe to it. You know, when you pitch these things down, they've got an interesting texture. The other thing I might consider is to actually use repitch instead of beats. Now, this is too similar to the original tempo to have made a big difference. You know, if we were to slow the tempo down, you can hear it going down in pitch, of course. So what I'm going to do is stick with the beats for the moment. Yeah, I really like the texture that comes from that. You know, one of the things about the beats mode is that it may not be the best in terms of quality with the time stretching, but it actually has an interesting texture to it. You know, if we were to switch down to Complex Pro, we've got the highs and the clarity there, but I prefer the vibe of the other one. This one's too muffled. So Beats is a good one. It's got that real kind of Ableton Live texture. I'm not sure about the bass at the moment, but I like the vibe. Just going to try another musical element. Let's try and shift the tuning here. Remember, sometimes a clash in the musical side can actually work. That could work, maybe. Just going to turn that off for the moment. What else we got? Okay, that works nicely. I'm just wondering about a shorter loop. And that's actually sitting nicely together there. I wonder about the strings again. I'm not feeling that so much now. Let me try some different tuning. That could potentially work, but I think we need to EQ the bass out of that. Let's come back down again. That's kind of got a bit of a Moodymann kind of vibe to it now, you know. I'm going to keep that low, the string there. Let's try the flute. Do you know what? I'm feeling now I want to take that out. That's not really suiting the mood of this track idea. Let's have a look with the congas. Okay, now I'm feeling about the bass maybe. I want to take a look at something. I didn't crop that either, I'm just going to do that now. Just going to take a look at bringing on the clip envelope, using transpose to do something a bit different over here. Now I'm doing that because of the way the strings are moving. And what that's doing also is taking the kick lower. So that's got a real nice, interesting vibe to it. Obviously, you couldn't get away with too much in terms of transposition. That's just minus 2 semitones. Going to listen to that with the strings. Now, it's not strictly going together, but I think it's got a nice vibe. And we're really thinking about that Moodymann kind of concept. Let's try the bleeps. Interesting. Let's try some different tunings. It sounds like it's random pitch there from a synth. So in a way, it's quite good to keep it that more abstract vibe on there. Just going to take this, the strings, the brass stab. I'm going to group these together, and I'm going to bring on the auto filter. Going to try a bit of the envelope on there. Okay, now this is shaping up now. So we've got a nice little groove. A real Moodymann kind of flavour there. Let's just have a look at this guitar. That's actually a really interesting texture. What about this? Okay, now this one's sounding a bit messy, but I like the energy of some of those things. Now I'm assuming because this has got a bass in it, it's not going to work. So I'm going to take a look. Yeah, so I'm going to sack that one now. So let's just call this music loop. So there we go. Look, there's the foundations of an idea there, you know, in terms of what other things I think would be necessary. We'd be looking at some more high frequency energy, maybe a tambourine, a shaker, maybe some additional drum layers. But that's that collage approach, grabbing samples from left, right and center, dragging them in, trying to make them work and getting a little bit of an abstract kind of vibe, but still clubby, still deep. And, you know, using the tools in life to actually mold those elements together. Don't be afraid of doing stuff that sounds slightly out. You know, some of those weren't strictly musically there, but it's the tension that's created that actually makes that more clubby kind of deep vibe.